Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Got a great fight to talk about. Nate Diaz versus Anthony Pettis. Now, the rumor has it this fight is going down UFC 241 in August. They've both verbally agreed to the match, but I'll believe it when I see it. I've been excited about Nate coming back in the past. There's been verbal agreements in the past and it fell through. But let's cross our fingers, hope this one goes down. Let's get right into it. Nate Diaz is 6 feet tall. He has a 76-inch reach. He has a mixed martial arts record of 19 wins, 11 losses. Nate Diaz is the Ultimate Fighter 5 winner. His style is primarily boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Nate's a fan favorite. He's what you would call a fighter's fighter, similar to Donald Cerrone, anywhere, anytime type fighter. He's fought some big names in the sport and tough guys. His most high-profile fights were, of course, against Conor McGregor. In their first match, he submitted McGregor with a rear naked choke, and in the second match he lost via majority decision. Nate likes to stalk his opponents. His striking is primarily boxing. He has some of the best boxing in MMA. He's been praised by pro boxers numerous times in the past. Boxers that have trained with him, they say that Nate's hands are very legit and that he can have a career in boxing. That says a lot, and it certainly shows in his fights. He's not a big power puncher, even though he does rip shots to the body. Nate strikes like his brother. I'd say he strikes with probably 70% force, and it's the accumulation of strikes that wear you out. That's a great style that matches his extreme cardio. The Diaz brothers are known to go and not get tired. They have crazy training regimens, a lot of endurance work, and they're known to do triathlons. Of course, that would assist in your MMA cardio. Nate is very dangerous on the ground. He has a second-degree black belt under Cesar Gracie. So yeah, you can say that Nate Diaz is a complete fighter. He has the stand-up skills and the ground skills. In Nate's last 10 fights, he's won 6. His last fight was a loss to Conor McGregor in 2016. Anthony Pettis is the former UFC lightweight champion. He's also the former WEC lightweight champ. He stands at 5'10" with a 72.5-inch reach. Anthony Pettis is a 3rd dan black belt in Taekwondo. He has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu also. His style is a mixture of Taekwondo, boxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has a mixed martial arts record of 22 wins with 8 losses. Anthony Pettis is an extremely exciting fighter. He's highly skilled standing. He's known to throw dynamic and flashy kicks, not afraid to take chances. Pettis has fought a who's who and some really big names in the sport. His record has been pretty spotty lately, however. In his last 10 fights, he's only won 4. His last win was a spectacular win off of Stephen Thompson. He won that fight via knockout. Alright, so Anthony Showtime Pettis versus Nate Diaz. How are these guys going to match up? Well, let's start with the striking. I think that Anthony Pettis is more diverse and more talented on the feet with more tools. But even though Nate Diaz mostly just boxes on the feet, he is extremely effective at it. He's fought diverse strikers before and have broken them just with his boxing basically. On the feet with these guys, I definitely give the edge to Anthony Pettis. I think he can hurt Nate Diaz with kicks, specifically kicks to the body. Of course, Pettis could throw a nasty head kick. His kicks in general are nasty. Pettis is no slouch with his hands either. But the thing is with striking, cardio plays a factor in striking. So even though you may get Nate Diaz in the early rounds, as his cardio holds up and yours fades, his striking technique stays consistent while yours gets sloppy and he starts taking the fight over. On the ground, from a pure technical grappling standpoint, I'm going to say that Nate Diaz is better than Anthony Pettis on the ground. But Anthony Pettis does have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's been known to submit guys, and he's pretty competent on the ground. I don't necessarily think he's going to have an issue with Nate Diaz on the ground. I think for the most part with Pettis' skills, it'll be more or less a stalemate. I don't really see Pettis being submitted unless he's extremely fatigued or hurt. Cardio and endurance, definitely Nate Diaz. Toughness is about equal. Anthony Pettis is one tough dude. He just doesn't stop fighting. That was absolutely displayed against Tony Ferguson. He was bloodied and beat up and never stopped trying to win that fight. Nate Diaz has a granite chin. He has been TKO'd before, but he has pound for pound one of the best chins in MMA. Chin kind of falls in the toughness category. Nate is super durable. Another factor to consider in this fight, this is going to be a welterweight match at 170 pounds. Who carries the weight better? Who's more comfortable fighting at 170? I gotta say that Pettis looked great against Wonderboy Thompson. I'm pretty sure that Anthony Pettis has fought at welterweight more times than Nate Diaz. He's also fought in 3 divisions in his career: featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight. I think that Pettis is more familiar at 170, and you can argue that he fights more comfortably at 170 than Nate. So if I had to pick a winner for this fight, I think I'm going to lean towards Anthony Pettis. I think the deciding factor in this fight is going to be the stand-up, and Pettis simply has more tools in his arsenal, striking. I definitely can see him picking Nate apart with kicks, being too elusive for him, and as long as his cardio holds up and he doesn't succumb to the pressure of Nate Diaz, he should be alright. Nate Diaz has a way of beating guys that he's not supposed to beat and surprising you. He could have a crazy classic Nate Diaz performance against Anthony Pettis. And if that were the case, I think it would be Nate walking Pettis down, tagging him here and there, wearing him down with strikes, and Pettis kind of succumbing to the pressure and the great cardio of Nate Diaz. I don't think that's going to happen. I think stylistically, Pettis is going to have a great showing against Nate Diaz. Will he stop him? Who knows? Probably not. It is possible. I would say Pettis wins more by dominant decision. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. It's a great fight. Would love to hear who you guys got in this fight and why. Leave those opinions in the comment section. Would love to read them. Thanks for watching as usual. Thanks for the support. And I'll catch you guys on the next segment.